The Brumby is back in action, which is fantastic. The clutch has been replaced and it's working better than ever, actually. I am incredibly impressed with the amount of metal that one can get in the back of the Brumby, or on the back of the Brumby. I have recently brought a lot of corrugated iron back, and although it doesn't have a very powerful engine, it is able to haul a huge load of wood or corrugated iron. And I thought I would show you now some of the corrugated iron that I have in the last couple of days brought home, ready to almost finish the roof of the woodshed. I shouldn't have said ready to almost finish, that is a split infinitive. Ready almost to finish the roof. Here we go. It's slightly used corrugated iron, but that doesn't matter. It has character, and more importantly, it'll do the job. And more importantly still, it was free. Some of it I acquired from a local farm. The farmer I bumped into at the tip, and she mentioned that she had corrugated iron she wanted to get rid of, and I mentioned that I needed corrugated iron, and it all worked out very nicely. And some of it I got from a different farm owned by people I know. Here is an enormous pile of wood, which you may have noticed in previous vlogs, most of which is either blue gum from the large tree, part of which fell down at the top of the drive, extremely good wood, blue gum, and part of which is cherry, such as this piece of cherry, and there is some apple and pear. I think this may be pear. They were trees from a neighbour's orchard that he wanted taken down, and we came to an agreement whereby we cut down the trees and in return got to keep the wood. A lot of this is too small realistically for woodworking, and will get delegated to the firewood piles, but it's all marvellous wood. But a lot of it, such as this, is extremely good for woodworking. In fact, I even used a piece of the blue gum, or rather I'm in the process of using a piece of the blue gum for a project that I am currently working on. Why don't I show you what the blue gum looks like? It's not completely seasoned yet. So here we go. But it's still pretty good. It's been dead now for a couple of years, so it's pretty dry. But that's amazingly hard, tough wood. Ignore that terrible cut there. It's only a rough project, and this isn't finished yet. But you can tell by the size of the rings just how big this branch was, and this was just a branch, not the main trunk. Wonderful wood. I'm in the process of installing a vacuum cleaner system into the, or dust extraction system into this workshop. When it's finished, I'll show it to you. This is my new shooting plane made by Veritas, which I have to build a shelf for, similar to these shelves here. Again, I'll show you that at some point in the future when I have built it.
Good morning. You find me starting my day in town on this beautiful morning. I was just in the pet shop there getting some wild bird seed. Not bought it from there before, so it's a bit of an experiment. It's one of the few pet shops I've been into for a very long time which actually sells animals. Not sure how I feel about that anyway. Budgies in the cage seemed happy enough, I suppose. I'm here because it's haircut time, as you might have gathered, and I'm taking the opportunity to run a few errands as always, picking up a few things for Will, and then, as I alluded to last week at the end of the vlog, we're off to the theatre tonight. We're off to the local theatre again. We'd been there previously to see a play. This time it's a musical. Anything goes. From what we saw from when we booked the tickets, actually it's pretty much sold out, so that's good to see. It's a Thursday night, so it's not exactly peak performance time, I would think. I'll maybe catch up with you very briefly, show you how I'm looking with my new do. Nothing radical, and then probably catch up with you later when we're en route to the theatre. As promised, here's a glimpse of the finished haircuts. Will and I are just about to head off out to the theatre. For those of you who may be interested, although you won't be able to see it terribly well, this is my outfit. I am wearing a skirt. I know that will please my nan. And I am also wearing the silk and cashmere jumper I got from the charity shop on my birthday. And an old scarf.
When putting wood in the range, it can release smoke into the house, and that is particularly noticeable when the sun is shining through the windows, and it becomes clear just how much smoke is lingering in the house. It looks rather pretty actually, but does smell pretty smoky. The house does in general smell smoky compared to, I think, most modern houses. But that is one of the consequences of having an almost permanently burning wood-fired range.
You find me this morning in my potting shed. I've opened up the belly of the beast that is my battery-powered chainsaw because I'm about to start Operation Tree Thinning for this autumn-winter, which is where I go around and take out all the trees that are alive but are struggling and are never going to make good trees. They're sort of quite puny. And take them down and put them aside for future firewood. I do it now because they tend to have some, not a lot, but some leaves, and obviously I like to get rid of the leaves through burning them. But This is the chain that I was using on Operation Mr. Darcy Walk Extension project. And because I've been chopping things right down to the ground, this chain has been getting quite dulled. I expected that. It's fine, it's an old chain, but it's not going to cut it, pardon the pun, when it comes to felling the trees. So I've got a new chain, and what I'm going to do for the next wee while until Mr. Darcy Walk is done is alternate between the chains. It's going to make life a little bit annoying, however, ultimately it'll make felling the trees a lot easier, and it's not that hard to do. So I'm going to crack on with this, and then I'll catch up with you maybe in the woodlands. We have made it to where I'm starting, which you may recognise as the fire break up to the backwoods. And this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. So it's quite a small tree. It's not doing very well if you look at the crown. And it's being overcrowded by these much larger trees. So all it really is now is a liability, as it sits under the crown of the larger tree, creating what's known as a bit of a fire ladder. So that's coming. I think I'll also take this one out. It's not a very healthy looking tree either. And there's a couple more up there that I'll deal with. I'm not going to go too far up there. What I'm starting is the trees that I can easily get to on foot. And then I will turn the corner and start working my way around the house. And then I'll reach a point later on in this project where I'm having to work my way back up the hill utilising the car. But for now, we're starting here.